my hat to you, sir. You played absolutely phenomenally, and it was enabling Solo that allowed Clutch Gaming to establish that massive,
Power
massive
on,
pressure they have on the
battery
map.
low, mic off.
There's really not much for me to say here because you hit all the important points, right? And I agree on every single one of them. Solo had such a dominating performance there in the top lane. And here's the thing. If that's the only place that you traditionally have issues, as it has been for Clutch Gaming Academy, that's all you need to win. You just need to have a solid setup for your top laner, and they did exactly that.
That they did. Brilliant job there by Moon to put all of that pressure in the top lane and allow Solo to be able to get that early game lead, which then he was able to snowball out of control. He was the I hate to embrace the meme, but he was the solo carry that game because of the fact that his team did so well for it. All they had to do was play safe and watch him destroy the enemy's objectives, destroy Brandini on the Mundo, and just take over the game. And I think that's an adaptation not only in the way the team plays, but also the drafting. In this draft, you know coming in with Ezreal, Tahm Kench, you're going to play safe. Zoe, you're going to try and play more safe. You're not going to try for those big, risky mid-game plays that you have in the past. And now with those plays out of the way, Clutch picks up their first win and starts the path towards trying to recover the season from that 0-4 start. They're now at 1-4, and they have a win, guys. Clutch wins the game.
Absolutely. They're going to look to get a second one in just a while, though, so stick around and be sure to catch that one. We hope that Solo has exactly as good a time that he did in this one. Stick around for another round with Clutch Gaming Academy.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go into the second game of the North American Academy League Championship Series. This time, Clutch Gaming Academy, after their successful victory over 100 Thieves Academy, we're going to be taking on FlyQuest Academy. I am your play-by-play for tonight, Mark Rafa Arambide, and my wonderful co-color cast host is the awesome Cole Culture Gibson, representing Atlanta.
Hey, what up, dog? ATL, all the way 404. Let's get another dub. Let's do it. Let's get it.
Let's get it indeed. Now, Culture, we were talking about the prior. All right, welcome back. We are going on for our second game of the night for the North American Academy League Championship Series. This time, after Clutch Gaming's successful win over 100 Thieves Academy, we're going to be taking on FlyQuest Academy. I am Mark Rafa Arambide, your play-by-play for tonight, and then my wonderful co-color caster is going to be the incredible, the amazing Cole Culture Gibson.
What up, guys? Representing the 404 tonight. Ready for another successful dub in the night 2-0. I'm glad to be joining you, my friend Rafa.
Dude, Culture, I'm so excited to work with you. I've been a strong admirer of your past work. And tonight is just going to be a dream. We're going to be watching some good old-fashioned League of Legends. And then after watching Clutch Gaming Academy's successful win over 100 Thieves, I'm just looking forward to even more positive stuff coming against FlyQuest Academy.
Hey, man, don't fill my head up too much. My ego is already like on an 8. Don't put me on a 10, but I'm right there with you, man. Good, standard, and well-organized play from Clutch Gaming in that last game against the 100 Thieves. Something that they were lacking the last 4 games they've had. It seemed like they had direction. I think that's what Solo really brought to them coming down from the LCS roster, is a real in-game leader that can make those decisive calls and give them that path toward victory.
Exactly. And we were talking about how, even though Max Trobo is out for these 2 games, it is not necessarily Max Trobo's fault. The draft has been skewed towards the side of Piglet and Moon being on high carry champions, them being able to get a lot of the farm. And Max Trobo has just been put on these tank champions. But this time, we're just trying to see what the team dynamic needs. And Solo, like you said, Culture, has really brought an in-game leader for this past game.
And if you're a fan out there watching and you know some of the stats, Max Trobo, lowest KDA in Academy right now, highest death percentage, you say, what are you guys talking about? The numbers don't lie. Well, if you look at the drafts, as you mentioned, Rafa, a lot of them put him on tanks, force him into counter picks. He had the one game where it was on Aatrox, but he got countered heavily by the Ken and Camille and just got completely hammered in lane, and also some in-game macro movement mistakes that put him behind as a team. And so I do believe that this is more, they're bringing down an experienced guy that is a known shot caller on the team that he plays on going into the mid-late game and saying, hey guys, this guy's going to teach you guys how you should be playing League of Legends at these points in the game. He's going to give you some direction to model going into future matches, because while they have Piglet and Moon on the squad, Piglet is a leader by example. He's not going to be telling players what to do. He's not going to be waving the flag. He's going to lead by saying, hey, this is my work ethic. I want you guys to copy my work ethic. And we're going to go from there. And Moon is still relatively young, and he hasn't been in too many situations where he's had to be the main shot caller. So I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of faltered a little bit. So going into this second FlyQuest game, we'll see if this can continue and this be a trend. And then even beyond this series tonight, see if they can continue to replicate these results going on for the last 10 games of the season.
Exactly. Hopefully the leadership that Solo has demonstrated in last game and hopefully in tonight's game against FlyQuest Academy will rub off on the young players of this Academy roster. But we are now, ladies and gentlemen, into picking bans. Shen and Talia being the first bans here, Culture. What do you expect more to be banned on the side of FlyQuest and Clutch Gaming, respectively?
Shen, not surprising, a flex pick that can be played both by No and Quan. I believe in FlyQuest's last match last week, he played it in either of the 2 matches. Talia, you ban it away because it's still, you're not able to use Smite with the Talia because of the interaction is still broken in the game. Rito Spaghetti code. But you can still put Ignite or Exhaust on her in a jungle and play a funnel comp and still have the effectiveness. Although it might not have as high damage as you get later in the game because she's in a more supportive role, still has the effective CC and zone control and just map movement and mobility. The Nocturne and the Swain being banned away as well. Not unexpected either. Nocturne just extremely strong generally no matter what composition you're playing. And then Swain just as well, not giving that to Peck and Wolf, a pick that he was known for previously. Just a really strong champion in the mid lane that also has good zone control and great team fighting.
Right, and also can be flexed into the bot lane for Ahri if he chooses to pick that one up for himself. Rakan being banned away by the side of Clutch Gaming Academy. So even though they were first pick in, or not first pick in the last game, they do have the option to pick Rakan, but they have decided that they don't want to go for Azai Rakan. So what does this tell you, Culture, that they're looking to first pick?
It tells me that they're probably going to first pick either an AD carry for Piglet. Lucian is up, one of his favorite champions. They're going to go for the Zoe instead, actually give that to Sun. He played it in the last game. Very good mid lane, zone control mage, safe. It's still a very good first pick overall, but it also means the Rakan ban is that they don't want to give over Zyrakan the first 2 picks for FlyQuest. Fly will take the Irelia and the Sejuani first, 2 very strong pick still. We are still on 8.12 as the screen shows you. So the adjustments, as they are called, to Irelia haven't come through. And Sejuani really starting to poke her head back out as an A-tier jungler on 8.12. I'm looking to see Clutch Gaming respond with their bot lane duo, which there actually looks like they might hover the Trundle and lock that in, which is a change for them because they usually try and lock up the Piglet Vulcan bot lane duo first in the first round of picks. So we're already seeing some changes being brought on in the philosophy of the team just by having Solo down here, and probably some things they've been practicing in scrims.
Right. And with the win today, maybe this kind of relaxes the shoulders a bit. Say, okay, you know what? We've got our win. We got our standard comp dub for the day. Now we can try playing around with how we want to go with pick and draft phase. The one thing you do want to note is that they are on blue side this time versus red side in the last game. So maybe they're having a different perspective being on the opposite of the map this time around.
And sometimes that's all you need is a different perspective to push you over that edge. If you look at their team stats, they were second in average game time and second in confirmed kills per minute, which shows that they are a team with high potential. They play you close, they make you go the distance, and they're a highly volatile team. But it's a complete paradigm shift tonight. Usually, instead of going for a team fighting composition, they played a poke, pick, and engage or siege composition last game. This game, it looks like they're going for about the same thing, just a different bot lane, it looks like. And we see FlyQuest lock in the Kai'Sa. Not surprising, very strong pick. And it's something that Piglet actually doesn't play. In every single game this season in Academy, even when Kai'Sa was left up, Piglet did not touch the pick. It's not something he enjoys playing at all, so I'm not surprised. The Tahm Kench ban and the Braum bans, not surprising either, because both those supports synergize well with both the AD carries that both these teams have picked up.
Right. We saw how much safety that Piglet and Vulcan had with that Ezreal Tahm Kench lane. It practically just told Levi, you know what? Don't even bother coming bot lane. You're not getting anything here. That's why he focused his efforts on trying to set Moon behind, trying to get that top lane behind. But as we saw, our boys Moon and Solo was able to re-peel back and fight back and get that lead for themselves, which later then snowballed into that split push siege composition we did see come out and take that dub.
And I think that Levi, after he got that early advantage in the last game, really put himself back to even footing just because of the path he took after invading onto Moon's jungle. And that just allowed Moon to re-regulate the jungle. Not only that, but they also got some other advantages around the map that basically reset everything. And then that top lane dive by Solo and Move was so well cleanly executed that tipped things back in Clutch Gaming's favor. And that's more of what you want to see. Now, we do see Soraka and Morgana being banned out. Soraka coming up in the meta because with AD carries not taking heal, when you have a healing machine in your bot lane, you don't really need a heal. And then Morgana just very effective as a flex pick, either in mid or support.
Yeah, or even some cases, we've seen her bot lane. If you looked at the LCK, Bang has played him or Morgana in the bot lane several times, along with other bot laners as well, although I do not remember which LCK teams exactly. The Alistar, however, being locked in. So this is going to give a lot of aggressive playmaking for Vulcan, which might be something they will need in team fighting later on, as with the Trundle right now offers a great team fighting presence with the Subjugate being able to zap all the tank stats from Onda or no on the Mundo or Sejuani, but you do need some engage power, and the Alistar will bring you that.
Exactly, and this is what I like to see from Clutch, man. Vulcan on these playmaking supports. Last time he got playmaking support, it was on a Thresh, and although they didn't win the game, he dominated the early game, making roams, making plays around the map, and things didn't pan out, but he still had an impressive showing. This Darius for Solo as well, giving him another carry potential champion into the Mundo, and Darius in any tank in the top lane works out extremely well. Now, this will actually be a support Ornn. I'm going to go ahead and say it, possibly, or will it be? It will be. It will be a support Ornn. I thought they might have been going for a funnel strat and had Kai'Sa in the mid lane, put Irelia and Ornn bot, or Mundo and Ornn bot, do something kind of crazy, but it will be the Kai'Sa Ornn bot lane. Something that we saw Gate play one time, because Ornn, extremely tanky, the nerfs to his health regen haven't come through yet, and he still has enough engage potential to, as long as your bot lane doesn't lose bot, you're not going to look to see Quan and Eerie be extremely aggressive, not until Quan gets to either level 4 or 6, but he still has a lot of good late game application, and it's more tanks that Clutch Gaming had to try and shred through in order to get to the back line of FlyQuest.
Right. That's going to mean Moon is going to have to be making really crucial decisions here. Does he want to sap Onda? Does he want to sap No? Or does he want to sap Quan? It's going to depend on how the team fight breaks out, who is where is everyone's positioning, and who will be the easiest target to just be able to take out. And the Ornn pickup here does make sense because that Braum was banned away. And without Yasuo being on the side, there's no wind wall. There's no stand behind me shield, the unbreakable, being able to block that Call of the Forge God, which is such a crucial AoE team fighting ult to have, despite all the touches, all the nerfs that Ornn has received over these several patches.
The one thing that will be important for Clutch Gaming in this game, though, is they already have Piglet on the Ezreal that's pretty immobile. It will be protecting Sun in these engagements because they're going for another composition where it's a ton of, we're going to poke you, we're going to get you low, and if you're trying to engage on us, then Darius is going to follow through with his own engage. Moon will be able to throw up a pillar, and using the same way you used the Glacial Prison last game just to disrupt the engage coming out from FlyQuest. And it will be up to Sun to have good enough positioning to where he's not the one getting caught out. He is the least mobile carry right now on the side of Clutch Gaming. I don't count Darius as a full-on carry until he builds Trinity Force or goes complete Chad. He does probably a lot of damage, but he's more of that bruiser-style champion that helps disrupt fights. But of the two main carries they have in the Ezreal and in that Zoe, Sun's the one who's more susceptible to possibly being caught out, just because even though Zoe has that portal jump, she's still a very immobile champion and very telegraphed. You know where she's going to go back to, unless she's shooting out her sleepy bubble trouble from around a bush or through two walls. You generally know in a fight where she's shooting it at and her paddle star. So Sun's going to have to play this one pretty carefully if he's going to want to be influential as they get into the mid game.
Right. And one thing I do want to ask you, Culture, is we're almost getting into game. Now we know what the team compositions looked like. We know that FlyQuest Academy, they have a very strong team fighting composition, much like the ones that 100 Thieves Academy was trying to set up. But if you look at all their lanes, technically every single one of those lanes is on the losing side or will have to secede priority. Mundo's not going to be able to push against Darius. The Zoe should have priority over the Aurelia until the Aurelia is able to look for some outplay potential. That is something that is little skill, more base matchup. But then looking at the Alistar and the Ezreal versus the Kai'Sa and the Ornn, that Ezreal should be able to push in relatively easily. And then with Moon on Trundle, the more aggressive jungler this time around, that means he is more free to kind of set up some vision if he wants to scout out Onda, deny him the camps, delay his level 6 power psych to get that Glacial Prison, and then try to delay the late game potential that this composition has. So how do they execute that in these first 15 minutes?
You gotta push the tempo. Like you said, when you have 3 winning lanes and a Trundle, you have to try and put pressure on the enemy jungler, force him to speed up, or you just out-tempo him so you can make plays around the map before that Glacial Prison is available. Moon is going to be a key component in this early game, just because if he doesn't put the Sejuani behind, if he doesn't help influence the map so that the rest of FlyQuest are extremely far behind, then their team fighting is still pretty dangerous. And while this is still somewhat the same composition that Clutch Gaming had last game, where it was a lot of pick, poke, siege, so they don't have to try and look for team fights, it's a lot harder to do that when you don't come out with a lead. So what Moon will have to do is A, get some early vision to track the Sejuani and just harass the Sejuani so much so that just she's not even a part of the game until level 6 or 7-ish, and even then she's extremely squishy. If she tries to go in for a team fight, she dies. And then you start making plays around objectives and setting up fights with vision denial, vision control, and start wave management, push the tempo even more, and just keep putting your foot on the gas pedal until this game ends in around 20-25 minutes. You don't want this game to go over that mark, because although Clutch Gaming do have components that do scale well, I feel like FlyQuest's components scale just as well, if not better.
Absolutely. And you don't want to take your chances with a late game Kai'Sa once she has the Nashor's Tooth, the Guinsoo's Rage played, a death cap, even if she's feeling fancy about it. And then at one point, if you mess up that one team fight and the Kai'Sa just pops off, getting the killer instinct onto a crucial carry in the back line and just annihilates them, then you've got no worries being able to deal with a melee in melee carries in Trundle, in Darius, and Alistar. There's no concern whatsoever once you've taken out the Ezreal and the Zoe if it gets to that late game point.
If a Glacial Prison hits Sun or it hits Piglet, they're pretty much dead in mid-late game. Because like you said, the Glacial Prison comes out, the Kai'Sa's immediately going to dive into the back line and get followed up by the rest of her team, and it's lights out for both those carries. Darius, unless, as we said, unless he goes Chad and builds Trinity Force or even tries to go some relatively heavy damage, once you get rid of the Clutch Gaming backline, there's nothing else really to follow up there. Trundle, depending on his build path, might be able to do some damage and take out a target, but otherwise it's not a lot doing. And on top of Eerie on the Kai'Sa, you also have Peckhamwolf on this Irelia. She's also a backline threat that if she gets access to the backline, it might as well be over, especially after she gets the Flawless Duet into the ultimate. You can't auto attack. You can't do anything. She completely bursts you down. Remember, this is before 8.13 where they made it so her damage is more, I'll say, elongated, meaning that it takes her a longer time to output said damage. So she'll just burst you almost 100-0, or either she'll burst you down so low that Eerie can follow through. And we already see Moon and Anda seeing each other. Moon already showing a little bit of early dominance, showing his face on the other side of the river.
Yeah, I mean, he knew what happened the last time when Levi was on the Trundle and he was on the Sejuani. He knew that Levi had all of the pressure and the agency to be able to just walk freely into that top side of the map. And with Mundo as your top laner, you're not going to be able to defend yourself that much. So if Moon had opted into continuing onto the top side of the map, I mean, we already see the effects. Anda's scared so bad that he has to go and start on the bot side of the map.
Right, because you don't want to be tracked by this Trundle, man. You have to start opposite. You don't want him to continue to harass you and follow you through. Moon spotted him out, and Moon knows, it doesn't matter if he sees me and knows where I'm starting. I'm the Trundle. I have pushing lanes, so he's not going to get much help if we end up skirmishing, and I'm always going to win. So he's going to go ahead and take his blue buff. Going to go to a small camp. The path we've been seeing usually now has been you take a small camp, you go for the Scuttle Crab, and you go for the larger camp. Instead, he goes ahead and takes the blue buff early, doesn't wait for the small camps to spawn. He'll still get one Scuttle Crab, but, you know, it just depends on, I guess, the type of jungler you are and how you want to play the game. And each game is different, as we all know.
Right. And we did see earlier Piglet and Vulcan had placed a ward down onto the bot side of the map, scouting out where Anda exactly where he was. So Moon is going to be able to respond and just go for a red buff steal on the top side of the map. But Sun does have to be careful if Moon is spending too much time with the top side of the jungle and Anda decides for an early gank. If he's cheeky enough about it, that could mean that he would have to blow a cleanse or a flash.
And No has gone to check because they do have an inkling. This could be a small fight. They do force the flash out of Moon, though. But he'll still be able to go for that Scuttle Crab. And as long as he doesn't interact with a major team fight in the near future, which he's not really trying to, then losing a flash to steal the enemy's red buff is worth, in my opinion. He's going to have an experience advantage, a tempo advantage, going for his wolves, picking his red buff. He's going to potentially 3-buff Anda before 4 minutes.
Right. But Culture, how much does 3-buffing actually do for Moon here if he actually doesn't put Anda behind? Yes, he does not have that red buff now, but he's still keeping up in camps, it seems like, with the CS tracker. He got one Scuttle Crab, so he's not severely behind in experience. So even with 2 red buffs now secured by Moon, if he just spends his time power farming and not actually counter jungling Anda successfully, then this lead that Moon needs to secure is not going to really amount to anything.
But we have to remember that ever since they changed the CS tracker on jungle, it'll count even Scuttle Crab as basically 4 CS. Every jungle camp counts 4 CS, so it doesn't look like there's a big discrepancy, but there really is right now. He will hit level 4 before the Sejuani does, and this is why Anda's going to go ahead and try and go for a gank in the mid lane.
Oh man, Anda's dashing in. Sun, hey, has the flash and the cleanse if he needs it. He's not doing it so far, and there is the flash over the wall, just going to play it safe. Did not need to use the cleanse for the permafrost, but that is one summoner down. Great gank by Anda.
And that gets the flash, but you really want to get a kill there. When you steal the enemy's buff, and Sun knows this, which is why he was playing safer, not being, over the halfway point in the mid lane, because he knows when you steal Anda's buff, he has to make up for it somehow, and that's usually by trying to get a kill. So yes, getting a flash is great, but because they couldn't capitalize on it by finding a kill, Anda just falls further behind. Now Trundle has his red buff. He was able to clear out his bomb quadrant of the map. He can invade if he wants to and try and go for Anda's Gromp, and then try and at least ward up the river, give them some river control, allowing Piglet and Vulcan to play even more aggressively. And now they even know where Sejuani is, because they know he came mid, he came from his bottom side toward the top, so he has to be toward his Krug. So now they know exactly where Anda is on the map, or at least an approximation. They can play around it accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, they do have the ward on the Krug camp from the mini-map there, so you're right. They exactly know where Anda's is going to be, and the Scuttle Crab marker has been shown to be spawning on the top side of the map, which is great, because Solo already showing dominance in this top lane with that Darius into the Mundo matchup. We saw how he pushed that wave so fast that he was able to come roam mid lane and assist Sun in pushing out that mid wave after the gank from Anda, just so that Sun could back safely without Anda trying to punish the fact he didn't have flash.
And not only back safely, but keep mid lane priority while doing so, which is extremely crucial. Now, what I want to see Clutch Gaming do is be proactive with the lead that Moon has gotten in the jungle. He's on the Scuttle Crab again. The RNG gods were on his side, so Scuttle Crab did spawn toward the top side of the map in the top river. Now what are you going to do with this lead you've accrued? Because we talked about this. If you just let Eerie and let Peck and Wolf sit and farm up and you don't actually try and punish them, they will end up outscaling you, and it makes your life that much harder and you waste the lead. This is something that I've seen in their past VODs as well. I want to see what Clutch can do with the lead they've given Moon. He wanted to gank top lane, it looks like, but he'll just go back down toward his Gromp and start farming once again.
Just feels bad for Moon. He's not finding any of the ganks that he really wants to be able to do, especially on the top side of the map. It also looked like Solo was not level 6 quite yet, so did not want to go in for it unless he had that ultimate execution. But he's going really aggressive on the no, but he has holy moly! Solo did not give no or Ana any time to respond. He got the holy, what just happened?
He underestimated the Darius damage, especially once he hits the ultimate. He thought he could pop his sadism and live through it, give Ana enough time to respond and come in for the gank, trying to bait out, but you can't play with a Darius. You're just playing with your own life at that point. And Solo punished him for it like any pro player would in that situation. And now that's another lane that Clutch Gaming has going for them. The Darius could look to now maybe go a Trinity Force with this small lead he's acquired with First Blood. They can try and punish the Mundo again. He doesn't have Flash, doesn't have TP. That's another way that Moon could try and go with a gank and get Darius even further ahead. Because Sun is chilling in this mid lane. He's doing perfectly fine. Wave clearing. This is what you picked the Zoe to do. And it looks like Moon's going to go mid instead and try and force a gank here as well. If Sun can hit another CP Bubble Trouble, this could be a kill.
Yeah, but he might not even need it. He's just going to use the pillar. Peckinwolf is going to have to use the Vanguard's Edge to try and buy himself some time with the reset, and out he will go. That is the ultimate cooldown down, but Moon did make his presence known in the mid lane. It's going to alleviate a little bit for Sun and allow him to push in this wave.
And great synergy with their bot lane as well. The bot lane roaming up toward the river as that engagement was happening. Not only does that allow them to get vision control, but it protects them from a possible gank in the bot lane. If Anda wanted to try and respond by trying to get Piglet or Vulcan and try and waste their summoner spells, it really, really prevents that by moving around the map.
Peckinwolf was playing a little fire there, had no mana, and if Sun had landed a Sleepy Troubled Bubble, could have spelled some doubling Boiling Doom for Peckinwolf, but he's going to be able to back safely. He's going to lose on that minion wave, however, so it's just going to put him even further behind. And Quan, all right, I guess it's stopwatch time.
Bold strategy, Con. Let's see if it works out for him. Trying to bait out Piglet and Vulcan by using the stopwatch early. But in all seriousness, though, that might actually come back and hurt him later in a fight if he engages Quan. Yes, he does have the health regen of the old Ornn on 8.12 right now, but this Ornn, he only has his upgraded vision item right now. Not the fully upgraded one, but the second tier. And so he's not extremely tanky right now. If he tries to go and engage on a fight and goes too deep, he doesn't have to stopwatch to save his life. So we'll see if that hurts him. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's one of those things where you don't think you need it until you do.
Man, culture. Just the CS lead for the top lane starting to accrue ever so slightly. I still am suffering PTSD from that massacre that happened the top side. It just happened so fast. I mean, I hope CSI is going to be able to come up to the top side of the map after this match and clean up the blood. That was just nasty.
They're going to need Horatio Gates and all his merry actors to solve this crime. But, I mean, the lead Solo has now, they forced the Mundo off the turret. Now Noah is losing CS, losing experience, losing turret damage most importantly because he's afraid of a gank coming out from Moon. And that's all you need is Moon right now. They've gotten such a lead, which is so fortuitous, that now he doesn't necessarily have to gank. As long as it's the threat of gank pressure is there, he can still go around, farm, continue to gain a CS lead in his jungle, and not even have to be there. But it looks like Fly is going to start this Infernal Drake, but Clutch Gaming is all over. They're going to try and respond here.
Right, Solo just back, so he has TP. You see, he's waiting in base just in case if Clutch Gaming Academy decided to pull the trigger and call him to teleport in the backside. They did have a ward right behind FlyQuest Academy. They realized the danger. They back off of it. Ooh, all right. Good job, Moon. Just not letting a Kai'Sa steal it.
And Clutch says, thanks for the leash there. Thanks for the leash there, friend. Greatly appreciate it. And it's an opportunity that FlyQuest thought that they had because they're like, okay, we have vision control. They don't know we're doing this. We can try and take this while the back timers are there. But you still have to be careful because you didn't clear that ward, just because they can't see it, because that they lost vision on that, they realize, hey, they might be a dragon. We have a Darius with TP that is a level ahead of this Mundo and almost a full item ahead as we actually engage in the mid lane.
Oh, Sun already burned the cleanse, but he's got the stopwatch, so he'll be able to avoid the Call of the Forge God engage right there. Quan not finding what he wanted there. Oh, this might be bad for Peckinwolf. Solo's going to come in with the flash slow, and Peckinwolf is already flashed, but it looks like he's not going to be able to get out in time. Solo picking up his second kill of the game.
Oh, and the Glacial Prison whiffs, but looks like Mundo's here.
Oh, Sun has the flash over the wall because, yeah, you're right. Mundo is on a rampage. He's trying to run them down. Eri has used the Killer Instinct to jump over to Vulcan, and that's going to give him access to Solo. No will pick up the kill. Eri flashing over to Sun. He knows he has no sums left. Flashing in from Onda, tries to get the slow, but Sun is not going down quite yet. And Moon is here. He wants to turn it around. Woo! Eri, you went too far, my friend. You're going to go down. Moon trying to turn around this fight. It looks like this should be the fight here. Oh, Sun just picking up some flashes there with the W passive. It just seems so strange. Sun is just dancing over the battlefield. He might be able to get the kill. Oh, he lands the bubble. This should be it. Oh my God, Sun.
They might find Onda too.
Yeah, Onda has to get out of there. He's going to use the Q dash over the wall. I don't know if Moon and Sun will opt into this Rift Herald. They're just going to let it go by. But man, it seemed like things had gone south for Clutch Gaming Academy once they lost Solo. But then one by one, Moon and the rest of the Clutch Gaming Academy were just able to turn that fight on its head, Culture.
And a great roam by Solo, helping his mid lane get advantage, taking down Peckinwolf and therefore getting them to push. And for a second there, I want to say great response by FlyQuest too. No roaming down. It looks like they're going to get Solo because Darius, while he's good for running at you, he's not really good for running away from you. So as soon as Solo was too far deep, he doesn't have a ton of peel or kite to get him away from that situation. However, FlyQuest just goes too far. Eri getting greedy, trying to find Sun, allows Vulcan to roam up, hit him with the headbutt, pulverize, and that's another kill. And then just immaculate skill shot usage and placement by Sun to continue to chase and harry No until he was able to finally get the kill. And while they weren't able to get the Rift Herald on the back end of that had them such a good gold advantage and tempo advantage and vision advantage right now that Clutch Gaming is sitting pretty at 13 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, Sun just absolutely impressed me with how far he was pursuing on to No. No had such a huge amount of health at the beginning, but with all those flashes, Sun was just able to plan out, you know what, I can hit him with one pedal star with this flash, I can hit him with another skill shot with this flash as well, and just over time, we saw how Sun was just able to get that kill in the end. Just incredible stuff, and this is honestly, so far, Sun's best performance in one of their Academy games this season so far.
And we also can't understate that on the bottom half of the map, Piglet stayed in the bot lane, and because of that, he was able to get first brick. They found Onda, though. He can't dodge over.
Oh, Vulcan is interrupting him. Sejuani and the pigs trying to get away. Riri trying to go all the way home. He's going to throw out the Glacial Prison. Try and delay the fight. Call of the Forge God will knock up one, but CGA, Clutch Gaming Academy, have established their presence here on the top side of the map. They're looking to take the Rift Herald right now.
And Fly used so many of their own engage tools just to stop that fight. That's Ornn ultimate down. That's the Glacial Prison down. They don't have anything else really beyond that. Maybe Peckinwolf's ultimate, the Vanguard's Edge, to try and start a fight. So now Moon is free to take this Rift Herald, and they're free to push this top lane. I wouldn't be surprised if they took Rift Herald and immediately rotated this top side of the map and took out this turret. Because, look, Kai'Sa's recalling. Well, she stopped her recall there because she realized the push might be coming, but I don't think there's much they can do with this turret already almost down, and this is one of the best games I've seen Clutch Gaming play from a standpoint of getting that lead and then being proactive with it and just pushing it and continuing to press the tempo and step on the enemy team's throat.
Right. The gas pedal is on, sleeping on it. Just shout out to Lil Wayne right there. And Sun, just also, we got to go back to Sun. Yes, Piglet and Vulcan have been keeping their lane up, but that's what we've kind of come to expect from them at this point. They have been consistently keeping their lane in check for the past games, but Sun has now evolved, not only being able to survive that gank from Onda, but turning around with the likes of Moon and Solo behind his back, making sure that he can follow through and pick up the kills that he needs to. And now with this huge lead culture, I think Clutch Gaming Academy are in a pretty good situation to start bringing this home.
Most of Clutch already have their first items completed. The Darius did go full Chad. He has his Trinity Force completed. The Luden's Echo on Sun. And the Manamune on Piglet. And there's not a ton of armor built on the side of FlyQuest yet. There's only the Sunfire Cape, really, from Darius. Cinderhulk is on Onda, but that's not going to make him the tankiest boy in the world. The tankiest, what is that, a pig? Whatever Sejuani's riding. It's
right
not
now
super tanky.
Right?
Yeah, a Poro. There we go. It's not really tanky Poro. We'll go down almost instantly if a fight breaks out and he gets hit with enough damage. And at the same time, they don't have a ton of matter. Oh my! Look at that!
Oh my God!
God!
Oh, someone get out the censorship tag for this game, please. 18 plus only for this stream, ladies and gentlemen. If you have children at home watching this game, please cover their eyes, cover their ears, because this game is not going to be pretty.
And they don't have any magic resist. The only magic resist they have on the side of FlyQuest is the Merc Treads coming out from Peckinwolf. So Clutch Gaming has a whole ton of poke and front-loaded damage that FlyQuest has no way to mitigate it besides having No and having Onda run at Clutch Gaming and basically soak up all of the damage. And Quan as well. I almost forgot he was even there. So that's all you got going for you right now. Clutch has a 5,000 gold lead, pushing mid lane with 2 Infernal Drakes. That's gone. Clutch, they're playing really, really great League of Legends. This is something I was really hoping to see this week. The first game was a little bit shaky, but this second game is all domination.
Man, and it's such a pleasure that we get to cast this one. We got the front row seats this time around, Culture. Oh man, what a beautiful opportunity to be able to see this. And now FlyQuest Academy, they want to fight back, which is admirable with that fighting spirit, but oh man, Sun is looking for those paddle stars from downtown. He wants to hammer in this pressure and this lead. They're going to be able to get this mid-tier 2 turret for sure. And now they might have an option to rotate over to the top side of the map. They already have Solo working on that top turret against No, and with only a Sunfire Cape and Tabby Boots, if Sun hits that Sleepy Double Bubble, No is going to have a sleepy time is not even justly going to be able to sum it up for him.
And if you're FlyQuest, you're in a bit of a conundrum, an enigma, a quagmire, if you want to say, because, yeah, you try and engage there, and unfortunately, Onda wasn't there to follow up with Quan on the engage. They did get the flash from Sun, but he can pick up another one if it has the fortune of doing so, and he also has Cleanse. But even if you engage on Clutch Gaming, I think the most you get from that fight is maybe 2 or 3 kills if you're lucky, and then you still have Solo pushing in No and just completely destroying him on the top side of the map. So it's 6 in one and half a dozen in the other. There's no way to kill these 2 birds with 1 stone. FlyQuest, they have to get, first of all, Vision back in their jungle. If they want to have a chance against Clutch Gaming, I'm not even saying I want them to, but if they want to have a chance to at least make this game interesting and worth anyone's time, you want to get your Vision back in your jungle. You want to try and make a pick with the engage tools you have, the very limited ones, and try and get Eerie and Peckinwolf back on track, back scaling to be a threat mid-late game. Because right now it looks like they're not going to get to that threat. Eerie does have his Ginsus, but he doesn't even have his Nashes completed, and the Trinity Force just got completed on the Irelia. They're still looking to be on track to complete hit their spikes by 25-30 minutes, and we've seen today barely any of our games have gone to that point.
Right. As soon as the Baron was secured by Clutch Gaming Academy in the last game, it was lights out for 100 Thieves Academy. They just brought that lead home, and they're looking to do the same thing with this huge minion lead. Sun just raining down paddle stars and bubbles of destruction, trying to cause just absolute chaos in the backline, and they're doing a lot of work already, but Quan is going to throw out. Oh, that's a 3-man knockup. Wait a minute. This could be the fight that FlyQuest Academy are looking for. Peck and Wolf is going to get the kill on the Solo. That's one of the carries down. And Peck and Wolf is
over the wall.
Oh, no. Double kill going down on the Sun. That's the Zoe down. Piglet is all by himself. He's actually dead as well. And Airy has picked up a double kill for himself. That's the ace for FlyQuest Academy culture. In what scenario? We were talking about CGAA Academy. They had everything lined up for him, but if a team fight broke out just like what we saw, this could be the turn back that FlyQuest Academy needed.
Oh no. Clutch Gaming, you overstayed. You know you've overstayed when you force the support's ultimate out at one turret, and he still has it up and uses it again at another turret. At the same time, I don't believe that Vulcan was there. Correct me if I'm wrong, he was in base just earlier. They do get the Baron, and it looks like they're going to kill Solo on the back end of this as well.
Oh my god, Solo was just trying to see if he could get a miracle Baron steal, but it looks like desperation is not the way you want to go. That is a nice snipe from Piglet, getting the tree top dodge. Oh, he's popping off. He wants to get more, looking for the Ornn. He's not going to be able to find him as Quan has flashed away. They're trying to minimize the damage that has happened for the side of Clutch Gaming Academy. They have successfully taken down one Baron buff user, but still, 4 members will have access to the Baron buff. They may not be able to siege with the culture, but they're sure as hell going to be able to stall out to the late game.
And you know what? If you're Clutch Gaming and you're a Clutch Gaming fan, you breathe in, breathe out, take another deep breath, and count your chickens. Count your blessings. Because you still have almost, a 3.5, 3.6k gold lead right now. You still have 2 Infernal Drakes, so the scaling portion of FlyQuest is scary, but yours is just as scary because of the 2 Infernos you secured. Piglet is on track. You saw him trying 1v4 right there, and if anyone's going to help them carry this game, it's Piglet. They funnel so much resources into this guy in previous games. He has the second highest damage percentage in Academy right now, second highest kill percentage, and one of the highest experience differences at 10 minutes, which we're past 10-minute mark, but it just shows you how dominant he can be in all of Academy. So if anyone's the guy that can try and carry this game and make up for what you just lost, it's him. So just reset, don't panic. You have a dragon coming up in about 30 seconds. You still have vision control around the dragon pit, and just let things stay their course. Don't get complacent is not what I'm saying, but don't try and push and force things and panic, because that's how you end up throwing games.
Right. And if you look on the side of FlyQuest Academy as well, they still don't have that much access to magic resist. A Knight's Vow was completed by Onda, which is just another armor and health item. So while Piglet's damage will go down against the Sejuani, it still means that Sun will have ample opportunities to try and find those sleepy bubbles and get that Paddle Star execution from millions of miles away across the rift. And we just have to rally around this team culture. We need to see how Moon, Piglet, Sun, Solo, and Vulcan, with something like this, can happen against Greenhorn teams or Greenhorn players, rookie players. That could be so devastating to your mental state. But with Solo in this roster, we have to see if that leadership, that superior mental state, can come clutch in here and hopefully just keep the team calm, keep the team focused on the win conditions, and maybe we can just see them close out this game.
I saw what you did there. I saw what you did there. Don't think you can sneak that one past me. But you're right. They're still in a good space. Right now, FlyQuest is basically just taking all the standing gold that was on the map. Clutch did get another dragon on the back end of that, so they are getting closer to that Elder Drake win condition. And Sun is still pretty huge right now. And I think even in that last fight, it was still a perfect storm that FlyQuest put together to win that fight. If things didn't happen as they happened, if they didn't land the Glacial Prison into the Ornn knockup onto Moon before he could use the Subjugate and start healing up and taking away the armor and resistances of another tank from FlyQuest, especially a Piglet, I think he thought that he had the ability to go over that wall and be safe. He didn't really have vision over that wall. and got deleted. If he stays and looks for a better opportunity, maybe he turns that one around and makes it a little bit more in Clutch Gaming's advantage. So I don't know how many times FlyQuest is going to be able to pull off that perfect storm of a team fight as long as you have this lead, as long as you don't do the same mistake again and overstay. Now, it looks like Moon's going to be farming up. Everyone's just clearing waves, farming to the next item. Piglet already has 3 items on it, Sarah's Embrace, so he's working toward the Archangel's Staff. Zoe has the Oblivion Orb, working toward Morellonomicon. That means she's going to be even more dangerous because she'll be applying Grievous Wounds and a ton of damage out. So Clutch still on a very good trajectory. I'm still very, very confident about this game for them.
Absolutely. And now the Baron buff has expired on the side of FlyQuest Academy. So this means that Clutch Gaming Academy can now come out from the shadows. They don't have to worry about throwing another fight and then allowing that Baron buff coming in and securing FlyQuest Academy some revenge towers on their side. They can go back to their siege, their split push, and hopefully just find some more objective kills, find some picks, just go back to the win conditions of this composition that you have built. You know, be calm, don't rush, don't be over eager to start something that is not in your favor. Find the sweet picks, the sweet spots that you're looking for.
Exactly. You set yourself up for success earlier. You can go back to the same strategy that was working before, and I don't think it will stop working now. I still believe Solo is big enough on this Darius to challenge anyone that comes to him as a split push threat. I think they grouped up a little bit too early, but Solo still has that potential to put pressure. They can still 4-1 siege, lay down poke like they were doing before, and be fine. FlyQuest's response, that's what we're going to be looking for. What do? Do they start pushing the tempo? It looks like they haven't really, and Anna's going to be found out in the jungle here, but he's going to hop over the wall. Peckinwolf is there on the top side, but they're not going to go for him either. And now is where you might get a little bit impatient as Clutch Gaming, because it looks like they're getting a bit passive. They don't want to end up getting caught out by another fight like this, because they know that FlyQuest have the better engage tools. So they're playing really, really safe and not pushing that advantage extremely hard, but just looking for their opportunities to make something happen.
Time's a ticking culture, and we know that Clutch Gaming Academy, they need to have patience. They need to just remain calm and keep their composure. It's hard as a fan and as a spectator to not want them to do something, but this is what separates average players like us from the professional players in this league that we're watching here. And you need to find times like now where Moon and Vulcan are now walking up now that FlyQuest Academy have left the river to reclaim that vision control. Baron is up in 30 seconds. That might be the next play for Clutch Gaming Academy. They might have realized, you know what, we really need that Baron buff now. It is 27 minutes of the game. We're no longer just going to be able to brute force engages or picks anymore. We need the empowered minions to be able to push, knock on the base of FlyQuest Academy, and this is probably just their best option right now.
The Baron dance will resume shortly, and what's Zoe's bread and butter other than controlling objectives? With the way she pokes, the Sleepy Bubble Trouble, they'll be able to completely control this Baron area, have the fight happen on their own terms, but it looks like FlyQuest wants to go now.
Ooh, looks like Moon is caught out here by both the Glacial Prison and the knockup from Ornn, but Vulcan is trying to do his best to play goalkeeper and keep his team alive. He might go down here. He will. Quan will be able to pick up that kill. That's still 4 minutes left. Oh, Sun finding a pickup in revenge of his support, getting down Quan. Now it is still a 4-on-4. It doesn't mean the Baron will be going down to either.
You know, CP Bubble Trouble.
Oh, he lands it from downtown, but he's not going to be able to find No. He was obscured in that bush. No vision to help Sun find that other Paddle Star lock in. But Piglet and Sun will push in this mid lane, try to regain some pressure on this side of the map. There is the dragon in about 26 seconds. They might be able to go for that and then look to rotate onto the bot side of the map and push that in before going back over to the Baron side of the map.
And brother, I'm loving the way Clutch Gaming is playing right now. They get put on the back foot in that fight, engaged on. Their damage users weren't there initially, and they still find a way to kite long enough. Yes, members go down, but they turn the fight around so that it still goes even or in their favor. And this allowed them to, after the fight, subsequently get wave control, get vision control. They still have vision control around Baron, and they also have priority around Dragon, but they're going to go back in again.
Holy moly. Solo tried to pull in No, but he might have not wanted to have that happened to him. He's got the Steraktate shield popped up, but he's still pretty low on health. Oh wait, Piglet has picked up Quan. Solo's gonna go down to Pickenwolf, but Pickenwolf will also go down. This might be the fight they need to get back onto the fight. Piglet is popping up. This is your Season 3 World Champion from SK Telecom. He wants to get more. He's not gonna get the quadra kill quite yet, but he has picked up a triple kill. This is it. That's the double kill for Sun. They have the minions. They have the base. It doesn't look like they're too far from the base. However, death timers are only about 30 seconds. Maybe this should be enough time for Clutch Gaming Academy not to end the game quite yet, but they can as hell sure take down an inhibitor.
And I like this map rotation. Hey, I love that fight from Clutch Gaming. Once again, they peel off perfectly. Their tanks absorb the engage from the rest of FlyQuest, and after that, FlyQuest was neutered. They couldn't get to the backline of Clutch Gaming, and Sun and Piglet were just allowed to output so much damage. Piglet almost picking up a quadra kill there. I believe Sun, he didn't KS, he didn't kill steal. It's kill secure right now. We're in a new meta, a new generation. It's kill secure. Sun secured a double kill. Piglet secured the triple kill. They get the ace, and the smart move there was exactly what they did. They understood that they had pressure on the map and that they had pressure at Baron and at the Drake. They can take that whenever they want to. They open up the base, crack it open, have an inhibitor, have minions pushing it, and all they have to do now is be patient, push waves, get vision, and these objectives should be almost free. If FlyQuest tries to push them and Clutch Gaming have it set up exactly as they need to, Clutch Gaming should win any fight they have, hands down, and Piglet's just going to solo this Drake by himself. That's going to be triple Infernal Drake on this Clutch Gaming squad. They're looking dangerous, brother. They're looking mighty dangerous out here.
Absolutely. We're going to have to see how well Clutch Gaming Academy can pan this out. With 4 dragons on their side, if they need to go for the Elder Drake win condition, that will be their triple Infernals. That means so much damn bonus AD and bonus AP for Sun and Piglet. They're going to be pumping out so much damage.
And at this point in the game, not only does Solo do damage because of the Trinity Force, he also has the Sterix, which means he lives longer. The Sterix is going to give him not only that passive once he gets too low with the shield and the extra health stats. I mean, he's going to be a force in these team fights, man. Like, Clutch Gaming looks so scary, and FlyQuest is going for a last-ditch effort, but they missed the ultimate!
Quan missed the call of the Forge God. However, Solo might not be able to get out. He actually is gonna... No! Scumbag Baron plays 6-man for FlyQuest Academy. Clutch Gaming Academy now have to bail. They need to get out. But wait, Piglet, never mind. He's got the Ezreal. He's got the kiting. He's going to be able to take out Quan. Now it's a 4-on-4. Equal terms now. Piglet wants to go forward. And FlyQuest Academy, they are on the back foot. They are retreating. They are running for the hills. They do not want to fight this anymore. Oh, man. Things seem pretty dire for Clutch Gaming Academy. But Piglet, on this Ezreal culture, we've seen him on other champions, the Vladimir, the Lucian, but it hasn't really seemed that strong for him, except for this Ezreal pick in this game and last game. He looks like SK Telecom Piglet from Season 3.
Mama, there goes that man right there. Piglet showing up big for Clutch Gaming, playing these fights position-wise so perfectly. This is a free Baron they're going to take. But we also have to give a lot of props to his supporting cast. Sun has been playing immaculately on this Zoe, landing multiple CP bubble troubles on priority targets, and even targets trying to get access to their backline. Moon, Solo, and Vulcan being great disruptors and a great frontline for him to allow him to impose his will on this game. He's sitting at 6-1-3, Trinity Force, Blade of the Rune King, not Essence Reaver, Muramana, and Archangel Staff with a QSS on the back end of it completed. He is fully online. He's about to hit God mode, and if you're FlyQuest, you gotta start rubbing the sweat off your brow and like, how in the heck are we gonna get back into this game, man? They're just so far ahead. The kills are deceptive. It's 13-12, but that gold lead isn't. It's getting closer and closer to that 10,000 gold lead mark. Clutch has the tempo advantage, going to be pushing the jungle. We might see a fight break out here, but FlyQuest don't know. They don't want any piece of this right now. They're going to back out of the jungle just to see their jungle, but it looks like Peckinpah hit by CP Bubble Trouble, but nothing going to happen there. Clutch Gaming is going to keep pushing.
That's right. Right now, FlyQuest Academy, they have the Monka S emotes written all over their faces right now. That sweat is literally dripping on the Summoner's Rift. They realize that even though they have the technically better late game composition. It is not matching what is happening in this game right now. Piglet is making Ezreal look like the strongest marksman in the game right now. And like you said, Culture, I mean, he is completely online. These Mystic shots are just hurting like hell. And now the engagement is going to come out. Vulcan has to pop the ultimate for the damage reduction. He's going to be able to make his way out. Solo. Oh, man, that's crucial. Glacial Prison not hitting from Onda. That is one engage tool that they will not have along with the Call of the Forge God. This just means that Clutch Gaming Academy are going to have free will to knock down the inhibitors in the mid lane, potentially even the top lane here as well.
They, with both their engage tools, now all FlyQuest can do is sit here in misery and watch as their base falls in tatters. Solo grabs one with Apprehend. They have Quan Lo now. Clutch Gaming could look to end right here.
My God, look at the damage coming out from Piglet. He's just knocking down these tanks like they're made out of butter. And Piglet is still trying to fire mixed shots out.
Oh, but they get
Oh, no, wait, Area making Wolf make the dive attempt play. And they do take down Piglet. Oh, my God, Solo and Moon, they're still trying to do their best. They've got enough health and stats. They're able to take out Pick and Wolf. It's just Airy and No to try and defend this base. But you got 4 members. You got so low on this Darius, and it doesn't look like, even with that immaculate assassin play, this will not be enough for FlyQuest Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, Clutch Gaming Academy gonna bring home that 2-0.
And Clutch Gaming playing that game to near perfection. Yes, they messed up once, but otherwise they played it almost flawlessly. It's the Clutch Gaming we've been wanting to see all year. This is a team that could make a run and in the season at least 7-5 and make the Academy League playoffs. They have to stay at this form even when they get Max Strobo back. But tonight, this was a statement that Clutch Gaming might be here to play in the Academy League.
We can see how much influence that Solo brought to that roster in both of these games today, Culture. The leadership, the communication was so much better. You could see it in the rotations, their decision making all throughout both of these games. It was just such a pleasure just to see Clutch Gaming today versus Clutch Gaming in these past 2 weeks.
Brother, I was listening to a morning radio station on my way to work this morning, and they said something so profound. It was communication makes things so much easier. And when you have a leader that can properly communicate and influence, and not only influence, but boost the synergy that your team has, that it looks like it's been there the entire time, but it's a diamond in the rough. They had to knock off the coal to make that diamond. Things look so much easier and so much better. Piglet was able to pop off. Sun looked comfortable in his own skin on a carry champion for once this entire season. And the rest of the team was able to form up and form in line behind their leader. And the big question now is, can they take this further into the rest of Academy? Can they do this when Max Strobo leaves? We certainly hope so.
Absolutely. And we're going to have to see how much change Solo has brought to the team, even when he is not called again to play in the Academy for future games. We need to see how Max Strobo potentially can step back in and fill the void that Solo has left. Hopefully the leadership has influenced the likes of Moon or Sun or maybe even Vulcan to now step up into that leader role and continue keeping the communication comms clear, keeping that synergy intact, and keeping the rotations clean, the decision making thoughtful, intelligent, and probably the most important thing for me today, watching Clutch Gaming Academy this time around versus later weeks, is their mid-game and their late-game decision-making. So many times we have seen Clutch Gaming Academy actually get a pretty substantial lead from Piglet and the bot lane or Moon in the jungle. But then when it comes to that mid-game, late-game, they just fall flat of execution. We almost saw a little bit of that when they got too far forward on that bot tier turret, but they were able to bounce back. They kept calm, Culture, and they brought it home.
And overall, the big story about this is improvement. This is why you have an Academy roster, because you want to see improvement. It's not all about winning. Winning is great, but these are your future stars for your team. And when you see improvement like this in this short a time span, they've only played, 4 weeks, 6 games, still have a good half the season to go, and you see this form of improvement, it's always encouraging to see. But I think we need to wrap this up, brother, because I need to go somewhere and calm down. I need a cold towel, man.
I need a cold towel. I need a cold shower. I need to wash myself off still from seeing Solo absolutely demolish No with that first solo kill on the Darius. I feel dirty, man. Woo.
Oof, baby. That's all I gotta say. Yikes.
We're all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on both of Clutch Gaming Academy's games here today versus 100 Thieves Academy and against FlyQuest Academy. We had such a great time casting for you guys today. Please continue following Clutch Gaming Academy as they continue making their progression throughout the season. We want to see how this arc turns out at the end of the season. My name, again, is Mark Rafa Arambide. My co-colorcaster, Cole Culture Gibson, will be signing off. Have a great night, everyone.
Deuces.